you doing, Gunther? You a good boy? Hey, Claire. Hey, Claire. You a good girl. You guarding the goats? Alright guys, today we're adding some dye to the pond. Got the Airmax Twilight Blue Pond Dye, super concentrated. 1 gallon treats a 1 acre pond, 4 to 6 feet deep. We got about a ½ acre pond, about 4 to 6 feet deep. So we've added 16 ounces or half of 1 bottle to the pond. And we've already done it, and it's looking pretty good in my opinion. We'll give it 24 hours and let it equalize and get completely dispersed and see if maybe we need to add a touch more. So far so good. The reason we went with the Airmax is it's safe for recreational ponds, horses, livestock, birds, pet fish, wildlife, and the environment. Now what we did was pour it in and use a leaf blower to disperse it. But the instructions say all you have to do is pour it in on the pond edge and it'll do it itself. But we like to have a little fun. Just sling it out there. That's pretty cool. This thing's so stained you can't really see. Yeah, I think your truck's really blocking all the way. It working out that way. See how it's dark?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I can...
Light. All right. Here we go.
So here's the story on my little farm pond here. When we first acquired the farm, this pond was completely overgrown with cattails and all other kinds of vegetation. At its deepest point, it was holding about 2 feet of water, I'd say. The surface area measures out to right at about a half acre in size. Here in a few, I'll show you pictures from when we first bought the farm and what the pond looked like, to its finished product after all the hard work we put into it. We initially started out with a small excavator, trenching out the dam and draining down the pond. Then we rented a Caterpillar 323 excavator with a 55-foot reach to do the initial dredging and removal of the probably foot or two of gray muck that lined the bottom of the pond with all the vegetation. After all of that was removed, we decided to rob dirt from the neighboring hillside. We were lucky enough to strike nothing but perfect clay, and we used that to completely reline the pond. With a 55-foot reach excavator, we were able to nearly have the machine sit in one spot and move enough clay that we could reline the pond on that side with nearly 2 foot of material. After hiring a dump truck for a day, and 28 loads later, we had moved enough clay to then cover all the remaining banks of the pond with an additional 2 foot of clay to help with any potential leaks that may have previously existed. After all the fun on the 323, it was now time to rent us a D6 dozer. We came in along the top of the banks and started knocking in and grading out all of the clay with the dozer. After getting it all shaped up, we tracked in every inch of it to make it real nice and pretty, and then it was just time to wait on Mother Nature. It turned out to be the best timing in the world to redo a hilltop pond here in Kentucky because we wound up receiving a historic rainfall that year. It went from holding just a couple inches to literally being at maximum capacity. I wound up sending my dad out in his John boat with an 8-foot 2x4 to measure and see how deep the pond actually was. I had him go out to where I thought the deepest part of the pond would be and have him measure there. He stuck the 2x4 in all the way, past his wrist, then past his elbow, and all the way up to his shoulder. So I'm going to say the deepest part of the pond when it's at capacity is somewhere between 10 and 11 feet. So that brings us to this video. Being a hilltop pond, there's next to zero rain runoff that makes it into the pond, and so the water level is never near capacity, and honestly, it just stinks to look at it. So we're going to attempt to do something about it. We have 2 hoop barns that we use for hay storage, and my house that sits perfectly up on top of the hill to get the rain runoff from them into the pond. They're not exactly the closest, but they're definitely doable. With some ingenuity, hard work, and of course the almighty dollar, we should be able to channel all that additional rainfall, which any given year in Kentucky should be between 175,000 gallons to 225,000 gallons. So we'll see how that all turns out. I'm hoping for the best because I would love to see it stay at full capacity. So if you liked the video or found it useful at all, go ahead and scroll on down, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that way when these future videos of us trying to get all the rain runoff from these barns and the house down into the pond come up, you won't miss them. Well, I think that's going to be it from us here at Cripple Creek Farms in the Bluegrass State. We appreciate you tuning in and look forward to putting out more content of our life out here on the farm. Hope you all enjoy your day, and we'll see you on the next one.